Hey, this is Joel with American Giants, here to bring you another episode on a giant that's a little off the beaten path. I'm in Georgia, Vermont, and this is the home of Marc Jones. We're just maybe 20 miles from the Canadian border here, but as you can see behind me, he's got a large slab, and that is going to be for a Santa that he's got and an elephant. And so he's been showing me around the property, and I thought I'd grab the camera here and give you guys a tour as well. This is going to be open to the public, and when he gets everything up, you'll be able to pull right in here and park and get out and take your pictures with the Giants. So some of you may recognize this Santa. It's not an international fiberglass Santa, and I don't have all my facts on me at the moment, but there's another company that made this Santa. This is from at least the 70s or 80s, because Marc found beer cans from the 70s and 80s in this guy when he restored them. So this one was in New Hampshire. It was under a barn, and they were tearing the barn down. The barn had collapsed, and they were tearing the barn down, and they started finding pieces of this guy. Believe it or not, they hauled him out. They gave it to him. It was in pieces. It was crushed. The legs were standing up in the woods upside down, and then the rest of him was under the building where he'd been stored. Marc did an incredible amount of work, did an amazing job, and puts it up every Christmas out by the road where that slab is going to be, or that I just showed you. And so he'll swap that out with an elephant that we'll check out here in a second. Every winter, the Santa will be up, and in the summer, the elephant will be there. So I thought that was pretty cool. One really cool thing about Marc is that he's been watching our channel, American Giants, for a while, and him and I have shot messages back and forth. And as he's gotten Giants and he's gotten Muffler Men and he's worked on restoration and stuff, he's been picking our brains, which we love. We love you to ask questions. Tell us what you got, what your plans are. We'll give you ideas. Some of you approach me and you don't even have a Giant yet, and we start from the beginning. And others of you have found something, and you want to, some tips on fiberglass restoration or setup. When we put up a Giant, we work with the owner on the restoration, but then they prep the site for us. So often when we go to a place, a slab like this is already in the ground, and we have specifications for how big it should be to hold a Muffler Man. And so Marc reached out to us, and we gave him all the details of how big the slab needs to be, and there you have it. So that is where his Muffler Man will stand when he gets them all repaired and restored and bolted down. In addition to all the cool fiberglass stuff, he also is quite the car collector, and I'm not even going to attempt to tell you what all he's got, but there's lots of cool vehicles here. In addition, I thought this was neat. This is an actual working locomotive. He told me this is 2-foot gauge or 2-foot track. So it's a small gauge railroad he's actually built here, and he's got that steam engine that that's functioning, and the caboose here, and a car, and another small engine down there. I think it's like a machine for the yard. And then, of course, what I really came here for, you guys all know me, I'm unashamed to love the Muffler Men above all, but behind me here we have got the South Tampa Bunyan. This guy's really cool. He was from Raffield Tire in Macon, Georgia, and many of you watched the video I did and saw me find the other Macon, Georgia Cowboy, the Phillips 66 Cowboy, and pull that out of the woods earlier this year. And there was actually 2 Muffler Men in Macon, and this is the other one, and it was at Raffield Tire. He had multiple stores in the region, and so this stood at a few different places in the Macon area and the surrounding towns, and there's old 1960s pictures of the Giant in various places. He went to a number of different shops and tire stores and tow places and so on, and kind of made his way down south through Georgia, ended up in Albany at a construction yard, and then in the late 90s or early 2000s he was purchased by the mechanic chain in Tampa, Zephyr Hills, Dade City. It was all owned by the same Muffler Man collector. And so he was purchased and moved to Tampa and set up. He was set up high on a pedestal above one of the shops for Giant Mechanic. And they gave him a ball cap. If you look closely at his hat, it's still the Bunyan hat, but they put a brim on it, and they fiberglassed out the sides and kind of altered it and changed him into a ball cap so he could be a construction guy. And he still has, and when he was in Albany, Georgia, it was SJC Construction, I think, and he still has some of that lettering that's visible on him. So that's really cool to kind of see that history pop out there. But he was sold a year or so ago and ended up at Obnoxious Antiques, who collects Muffler Men and resells them. And Marc got him from Obnoxious Antiques. One thing I wanted to point out here, I just love the bottom of his boots. I think that is so cool. He used this material that has tread on it and cut it to the shape of the boots and stuck it on there. And that's so funny because, normally Muffler Man feet are hollow on the inside, so they don't even have a flat bottom. And if a Giant did have a bottom, it would be flat. And then this guy's got like tread, right? So we're on Northern Vermont and it gets icy and slippery up here. So Santa's got some really nice tread on his boots. Just wanted to show you inside of his shop. This is actually where he did a lot of the restoration for the Santa right here. Probably where the Muffler Man will end up when it gets restored. But this is what he's got in here, also from Obnoxious Antiques. You see these elephants quite often, but Marc's no stranger to fiberglass and resin and bodywork, that's clear. So great set of skills. If you like to collect these Giants and you've got the skill set yourself, it's a great way to go. Do all the work yourself and the repair and the painting. This guy looks fantastic. You can see the trunk comes off there, and here's the other part. Oh, this is really cool. One thing I want to show you here. Again, Marc's been watching our videos, so you can see there that he's been copying kind of the cardboard template we do of the boot, and cutting out the steel and building the internal support system that will hold his Muffler Man when it stands out here on the platform. So just wanted to have you join along on a very hot day here in Northern Vermont. But as soon as Marc gets these up standing, of course we will post about it and let you know. And definitely, another stop for Muffler Men on this nation's highways.